Everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for another weekly recap of Greenleaf. This is season 5, episode 8. It's the series finale, and it was titled Behold. All right, y'all. So I am sorry I am late. For some reason, I did not schedule the record, so it did not record at 9 o'clock like I hoped it would, so I could just kind of watch it without the commercials. So when I went to go watch it, of course it wasn't there because I didn't record it. So I had to wait until it came back on at midnight to record it. But I ended up falling asleep, and here we are today. So I apologize for that. I didn't really want to watch the episode because it is the series finale, and I just don't like to see good shows end. So in my mind, if I delay waiting to watch it, it'll still be I'll still have something to look forward to watching. But I had to watch it so I can give y'all a good review. I did read on Forest Rock's news feed that they well, I've heard they was doing a spinoff before, but I heard that on Forest Rock's Twitter feed, I should say. It's the spinoff is going to be featuring May, and it's going to have Jacob in there, Tasha, I think Jacob and Tasha, and somebody else. I think Clarissa was going to be in there too. I'm not sure, but apparently the spinoff is going to be about May and whatever. So I guess it'll still be Greenleafish. So I'll take it, but I don't know what it's called or when it's coming back on. I know they were showing like some trailer for Delilah, but I don't know if that is the name of the spinoff, because that really wouldn't make any sense if it is following May. So I don't know, y'all, but we'll see when it comes out or when they start broadcasting it or letting us know what, the name of it is and so forth. So I guess we have that to kind of look forward to. Whatever it is, if it's good, I'll watch it and then give a review. If I'm feeling it or whatever, then I'll give a review for it. So we'll just hold out and just wait for that to come on. Anyway, let's jump into the series finale. We see May. Oh my goodness, this was so sad. We see May. She was just laying on Bishop's chest. The Bible was beside him and it was open, and it's, where he wrote "I do" at. And she opened up the wedding ring that he was going to give her earlier that day, and she puts the ring on her finger and she just looks at it, and then she gives him a little kiss on his lips, like a little light kiss on his lips, and then touches his leg and kind of walks out the room. She's going down the hallway to Grace. We see Sophia and Grace, and they're finishing their conversation about because remember, Sophia had told Grace that she had sent some pictures to Dante, and they came all around Hampton University, well, the university where she's going to in Hampton. So they were kind of talking about that, and then we see Sophia. She was just like, well, we'll just talk about it later or whatever like that. Grace gets a phone call, and it's the people in New York. They want to interview her for a job for 2020. So they're like, well, we see that you have, they're doing a news story on H&H and stuff like that, and you're back out in the the spotlight and stuff. Are you ready to come back and stuff? And she was just like, well, I don't know. She's thinking about it. And then she turns around and she sees May standing in the doorway. So she just looks at her and she was like, well, I'm gonna have to call you back or whatever, because I guess she saw something was wrong with May or whatever. So May doesn't say anything. Next thing we see, everybody, all the children, Charity, Grace, Sophia, Jacob, Zora, they're all laying on Bishop's bed. Bishop is laid in, still laying in the bed, and they just lay on him. And Charity is laying next to him, and she's just crying. Grace is crying, holding Sophia. Jacob, like everybody is crying. So it was like really, really heavy. It was really, really heavy. And then we hear the ambulance in the background, coming to the house or whatever. Next scene we see is the funeral. Charity, of course, is singing. It's like really sweet. Charity singing. May, she just puts her flower there, and she does like a little, in her head, I know she's like telling him goodbye. She doesn't say anything out loud, but you can just tell that she's saying goodbye to, her love. And then everybody starts singing, and they're lowering him into the ground. And It's basically like by Bishop. It was like really sad, but I like the way they did it. It wasn't like too over the top. It wasn't dramatic. It was like really loving and touching and stuff. His friend, the funeral director, and the guy Was he the one that yeah, I think Bishop stayed with him because I guess they're like best friends and stuff like that. And when Bishop got kicked out of the house, remember he stayed with him, and then he owns the funeral home, so he was there at the funeral. Then we see Jacob and May. They're just walking down, past the lake and stuff, and Jacob is holding May's arm, and then May reaches back to Clarissa, and Clarissa was like, "Oh, May, what?" So she rushes up there, and then she holds May's hand. Everybody is at the funeral, like I said, even AJ. I think Noah was there too. Then everybody is at the table, at the dining room table, and Bishop's seat is empty, and it has like his little napkin, like his plate sets is still there and stuff. And then they're just going around telling about good memories about the bishop, and how strong he was, how good he was, how he was a man of faith, and how he what he said to not Charity, what he said to Grace when she came back. He was saying like, because I think this was when she was getting ready to leave, or she was thinking about staying, and he was saying like, check your heart for love. And AJ was saying he's going to build that car. He don't care if it's going to take him years to build it or whatever, but he's going to build that car, for Bishop, basically. And then May, one of the maids comes and gives May, whispers in May's ear she has a phone call or whatever. So she gets up. When she got up, everybody stood up. I was like, oh, wow. So everybody stood up when she got up, and then May leaves out, and then Grace does like a toast to Bishop, and then everybody toasts to him. Then we see May, she's on the phone. Missy from the church, she calling May up. They had a deacons meeting and stuff, and everybody there minus Connie. So they finally gave Connie ass the boot. I'm surprised she ain't leave out when Phil and them left out last episode. I was like, why the hell is Connie still there? But they finally gave her the goddamn boot, child. So they're saying like they want her to do like the service on Sunday so they can remember Bishop, and because Bishop was, they did a lot for the church and stuff. They did a lot for the community and stuff like that, and they just want to remember him. So they want May to give like the sermon and stuff like that. And she's, thinking about it and stuff. And she was like, you want me to do it? And they was like, well, yeah, Phil is gone. We're cutting ties with H&H. We don't even know what to name what is going on. And she was like Sojourner in the Wilderness or whatever. And then they was just like, we just want to celebrate Bishop, basically. So May says, I think she said yes. Yeah, I think she said yes. And so that was it for them. Let me make sure, because I watched it. Yeah, okay. Because I'm like, I'm gonna make sure, because if I don't do it right after, I'll be forgetting some stuff. So anyway, next we see Noah. He's showing Grace a house that he got or whatever. I thought he did say he was buying a house down the street from his mama. So this is a house that he brought down the street from his mama for him and AJ. And it's a cute house. It's nice and stuff. And then AJ's on the phone with his doctor, and then the doctor told him that his T4 levels was doing good. So he's doing great. Noah invites Grace to move in. He was like, well, since your mom is about to sell the house and stuff like that, we got a space for you. So Noah is trying, child. Noah is trying to get up in there, but she with Darius. Noah, you too late, boo-boo. But so AJ told them about the T4's count going down and stuff like that, and then Grace is excited and stuff, and he goes, what was it? Because it was something. Because Grace said, I was just like, why she keep saying this all the time? Let me go back, y'all. Because it was something. Oh, that's what it was. Grace had asked Noah before AJ came over there. Grace asked Noah, like, well, can you afford it? Can you do this and stuff like that? And Noah was like, well, yeah, I got a job and whatnot. I'm doing good and stuff. And she was like, before he said that, she was like, because I am his mother. I'm like, damn, Grace, we know you his mama. Damn, you got to keep reminding us all the time. But Noah was like, no, I got this new job. I think he's teaching at the school or something. What is at the school? Let me make sure, y'all. Yeah, it was at the school or something like that. Yeah, at the college. She got a new job at the college, so he's going to be working at the college. Grace is excited for that. Then AJ came over with his good news, and then AJ hugged her and thanked her for getting the doctor and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, yes, finally. This is right up Grace's alley, because she been feeling some type of way that I think she felt like she left out and stuff, which is crazy to me, because he still has the bond with his dad. too, Grace. Like, just because he's not talking to you as much as he is trying to get to know his dad or living with you or whatever like that. Like, who want to live in that house? That's too much drama and stuff. Maybe he just want to be one-on-one with, you know, his dad and stuff. But Grace was like smiling ear to ear once AJ had thanked her and all that other stuff. I was like, praise God. Grace had got a phone call from Darius and stuff as they walking out. Noah stayed in. It was just AJ and Grace. So they walking out and stuff, and AJ was like, well, who is that? Is that Darius? And she was like, yeah, and stuff. He was like, well, I want to meet him. Like, when I'm going to get to meet him, I want to talk to him, see what his intentions are for my mama and stuff. I was like, oh, this is too cute. So they had like a little cute moment in the car. Jacob, we see Jacob, he playing chess by himself. Clarissa put Winky to bed, and she was like, he was so exhausted and stuff. And she asked Jacob, can, you know, Winky stay there overnight, you know, for a few nights while she looked for a house. And he like, yeah, that's fine. And then he asked her where she was staying at, because apparently she was supposed to be staying with her mom somewhere, but she's staying at the school because she wants Winky to be closer to Jacob or whatever. So I was like, okay, this is good. This is good. So she was like, well, yeah, I'm staying at the school. It's my school. I'm staying there or whatever like that. He was like, well, where you going to stay tonight? And she said she was going to stay at a hotel. And he was like, well, you could stay here or whatever. She was like, no, I don't want to confuse him, and I don't want to confuse Winky. And I'm like, Jacob, calm your whole horny, grieving ass down. Like, no, she not, y'all getting divorced. Like, no, you is no. She need to go to the hotel. Take your ass to the hotel, Clarissa. So I was glad she went to the hotel, and then he was just like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, this might not feel right, but this is our happy ending or whatever. And he was like, I know, all with his old dopey self. Anyway, we see Sophia, Zora, and AJ, and they talking about death and what it may feel like. And Zora was saying it may feel like jumping off a cliff, and then you go into like this deep water, and then you feel like you can't breathe, but then all of a sudden you can breathe, and then you're around the angels and heaven and stuff like that. Sophia was saying like it's like falling asleep and stuff like that, and then AJ was saying like he just want to live. Like, he not really trying to think about death. He just wants to live. And I was like, oh, this is a good AJ. I hope in the spinoff that the kids are included too, because like early AJ was annoying as fuck, but this AJ I can live with. I can live with this AJ. So I really want to see his journey and stuff like that. So I do hope that they continue with the kids or add the kids into the spinoff. We see Darius with Grace, and they're talking about the New York thing because she hasn't called the people back to let them know that she wants to take the job, but she's scared to call the people back because she's saying that she don't know if she'll be able to say no. And she had said this later on in the episode, but she was basically saying with Darius right now that, you know, like, what future will she have in New York? He was like, well, maybe this is a new future and stuff. And she was like, well, what about our future? And he was like, well, if you know, get the job up there, I may be willing to accompany you up there. And she was like, so you're going to follow me up there? He was like, no, ain't nobody following you now. I said, accompany. I said, it's the same. Okay. Okay, Darius, whatever. So once he said that, she got all overjoyed and stuff like that. So at this moment, you can see like she gonna take this job. She just gotta figure out how to tell her mama that she gonna take this job up in New York. We see at the kitchen table, was everybody there? No, yeah, at the kitchen table, I forgot who was at the kitchen table, but at the kitchen table, May was telling them about what Missy said and how the Sunday service and all this other stuff, and you know, just she was saying like, because I think somebody said, oh, you gonna get the church back or something like that, and she was like, no, I'm just talking about your dad or whatever, I'm just speaking about him. And they was like, well, they'd be a fool if they wouldn't take you back and stuff. And then Grace the whole time, yeah, everybody was at the table, because Grace at the time was looking at her phone because she kept getting a phone call from New York, but she wouldn't answer it and stuff. So she didn't decline it, but she maybe like silenced it or whatever like that, because then they left a voicemail and whatnot, and she just kept staring off. So May was like, Grace, are you with me? You gonna help me out and stuff? She was like, oh yes, anything you need, mama, anything you need. So I was like, oh Lord, Grace, does this mean you're not gonna take the job? But we gonna see later on what happened, child. So then we see May, she walking in, and Corinne, you know, walking her to the office and stuff, and Corinne is saying like she glad that May is back, and she was sorry to hear about Bishop, and May is like, well, can we just not this week talk about, you know, the loss that I've experienced and stuff like that. And she was like, oh yes, sure. So then she lead her to Bishop's old office, child. They done reset the office up the way Bishop left it. I said, oh God, Corinne, like she just lost her husband, and then you setting up the office the way he had. I said, oh my goodness. So she just basically was just like, she want to be left alone in the office and stuff like that. We see Tara and Jacob. Jacob had went down to Tara's church and was asking him basically how May had asked for, you know, like a little extension or whatever, like in for 3 months and stuff. And while he talking to her, she bagging up stuff to give to her congregation and stuff. And she was like, well, yeah, no problem. I don't have an issue with that. I can give you 3 months and stuff like that. And then she was saying like, well, I just really want to call it even at this point. He was like, what? Like even? Like you don't want the house and stuff? She was like, no. Because I can't throw your mama out the house knowing what she's going through and knowing what that is doing to her and stuff like that, because she, you know, been in that situation where her father died and stuff. So, you know, she knows the loss, what the loss feels like and stuff. And she was saying like, and then Jacob was saying, but didn't God promise you a blessing? And she was like, I'm blessed already. Like, I'm blessed. I'm good where I'm at and stuff like that. So y'all just keep the house and stuff. And you can see Jacob falling in love with her, child. I said, oh Lord, this gonna be a hot ass mess, because Tasha all in love with Jacob. Jacob falling for Tara because of her, you know, her energy, her kindness, her good, like he just falling all in love with her, and you can see that. So, oh child, this is gonna be a mess. So Tara said that she was going, or Tara, she said she was going to send her prayers and her assistance, and she was saying if y'all need anything, y'all just, you know, let me know, call me or whatever. Jacob excited as hell. And then we see Grace with Aaron, and they're doing trust funds for AJ and Sophia. So Grace is rid of the money that her dad gave her. So it's in the trust funds for the kids and stuff. And she was just basically like, I'm glad to be rid of that money because it was only connected to bad and stuff, and it was nothing but trouble. And I'm like, what? How was it trouble? Like, whatever. But she keeps the people calling her from New York again. She keep ignoring the call. So Aaron like, well, what is going on with that? Because he's all excited he got a sister and stuff. And so he's like, what's going on with that? She tell him, like, you know, they offered me a job in New York in 2020 and stuff. And she like, what would you do? And he was just like, this may be like your new beginning. Your work here may be done or whatever. And he told a story like how he was always being before he came out, he was always trying to be straight all the time, and he said like his friends asked him like, at what point you gonna figure out that this is not a choice to be gay or whatever. So it's basically saying it's not a choice for you to turn down this job. Like, this may be what God wants for you. Like, you done your work here, you did what you needed to do here, now it's time for you to move on and stuff. So she was basically saying like, okay, like, yeah, well, how I'm going to, like I said, how she going to tell her mama? Because she like, if I pick up that phone, I know I'm not going to be able to say no, but how I'm going to tell my mom that this is the choice I want to make, because it's like I'm leaving them again or whatever. So she basically got to make her decision. So then we see May, she trying to write her sermon and stuff. Jacob comes in there and he like, well, what you preaching about on Sunday, Mom? And she like, you tell me what I'm preaching about, because she still hasn't, you know, God hasn't talking to her yet to give her what she needs to write her sermon and stuff like that. He tells her what Tara said about not wanting the house, and she like, what? Like, are you for real? And she like speechless, and like she don't know what to say. She was just like, she is really a good one, like she really is nice or whatever. So she just don't know what to say, but she is overjoyed. You could just tell, like, she is so excited. It's Sunday, and Sunday has a big turn up. Everybody there to hear May speak and stuff. And Tara even came. She invited her whole congregation, and Tara and Jacob exchanged words in the hallway. And that's why I said, like, if y'all saw the way he was looking at her, You can tell. And the way Sheila was looking at him was like, oh my God. I'm like, this finna be a whole mess. Because he was saying, like, she was saying, like, I think she said, Tasha said that you do a lot of stuff with the homeless or whatever. And he was like, yeah. So she was like, well, maybe all three of us can get together and do something. And I said, ooh, child, not the way you looking at Jacob and not the way Tasha won Jacob. Like, this gonna be a problem. So, what else happened? I think that was all that happened right there. And then she said, God is good. And Winky was like, all the time. I said, oh, that's so cute. But I was like, Jacob wants some Tara, child. And I think they're going to get together. And I think if they get together, it'll be a good match for them. Because Jacob is good as far as he wants to get back to the community. He don't care if he don't got a big building or church or nothing like that. He just wants to help. He wants to help the homeless community. He wants to help, still preach the word and stuff. And he just wants to give back. And that's the same thing that Tara wants to do. So I think them two together will make a dynamic duo. Tasha, she just want to fuck. Like, I'm sorry. That's all. Like, she see Jacob as a good man, but I don't really see Tasha bringing anything to the table the way Tara will bring it to the table for Jacob. So I hope them two do get together. Then we see inside the church is, the service is going on. Charity singing, and she like singing. May gets up, everybody standing up, a standing ovation and stuff, and she's saying like, she knows exactly how Bishop feels right now. She wants support from the congregation. She says she misses them so much, and she just going into like this big speech and stuff. And she was saying like how she has spoken to him more this week than she has in 10 years. And her sermon was basically about a new beginning, like changing yourself, becoming new, just being like a new beginning, like not thinking about the past, not living in the past, forgiving yourself, like just doing something different, like just uplifting yourself. It was really good. And at the end she was saying like she had everybody say make me new, like Jesus just make me new and stuff like that. And I mean, it was really good. Then we see Sophia whispering to Grace like your work here is done or whatever. And then May is calling visitors to the altar, to get saved and stuff. And then AJ walks up there. Jacob, first Grace sees him, and then she goes up behind him. Charity saw AJ come up there. Then Jacob went over there to AJ, and then May see him, and she like, oh my God, yes, praise God, praise God. And then she goes over there. They all crying and huddled around them and stuff. It was really, really beautiful. I love that. Then we see May in the office, and then Grace goes in there to tells her like, Mom, you got the church back. Like I overheard them talking, and they said you got the church back and stuff. May is like excited and stuff, and she's excited because AJ finally got saved, and they were like, he needs that peace. And it was just nice. And then Grace tells her like, Mom, it's time for me to go. And May like, no, you can't go. She was like, Mom, I gotta go. It's time for me to go. I came, it's your time. Like, I came and did what I needed to do. Now it's your time. It's your turn, to do what you need to do. And she was saying like, just trust it, just trust him and stuff. And then they held hands, and in the middle of Grace and I should do this way, May and Grace, in the middle it was Bishop's picture. So it was like Bishop was looking down or looking at them, approving of what was going on. And they just like, embraced and kissed, not, like kissed on the cheek and stuff. And May gave her blessing, basically. She didn't say it out loud, but the way she embraced Grace, she gave her blessing and stuff. And then we're back on the infamous steps at the end. How they send people off, and they're sending Grace off to go to New York to get her job interview, and she's nervous. She's like, well, what if I don't get the job? And they like, girl, you already got the job. Like, stop. And Zora like, yes, because I need my auntie up there to have my back, because she moving to New York. And so they all basically just send her off, wish her well. Grace asked Charity to watch over Sophia. Then Jacob asked Grace to watch over Zora when they went up there and stuff. And May hugs her and, wishes her well, tells her thank you. And it was really, really nice. It was really nice. And she doesn't really want to go, but she has to go. She gets in her Uber or her car service, whatever you want to call it, and they take her down you know, past the lake, past everything. So it was like, you know, when the first episode came on, when she was going up, but she got out the car and walked or whatever like that. So it was kind of sort of like that, but just in reverse. But this time she didn't walk the grounds or anything. She was being driven. And he asked her, like, you're Pastor Greenleaf, aren't you? And she was like, it's just Grace Greenleaf now. And he said, I hope that's the way you want it. And she was like, me too. And then they drive out the gates, and then the gates goes behind her, and she looks back, and then she smiles, and that was it. So that was it of Greenleaf, y'all. I liked the way it was done. It was done real tasteful. It was like, I liked the way it was done. It was like a lot of unanswered questions, like why was Max so invested in that lady's house? Like, how did they end up getting the house? Like, well, we know Max set up that man to get killed or whatever, but was it just for the house? Like, was it for, well, I guess, I don't know. But it was like a lot of unanswered questions just related to the house. But I guess it doesn't really matter now because they are still keeping the house. So I guess that doesn't really matter. But I would have liked to see, like, why they ended up with the house anyway. Like, what did Max say that made it? Maybe he was blackmailing her because Daryl was his son. I mean, not his son. Daryl was her son, and that meant she was sleeping with a black man, and maybe that's what it was. So at any rate, I would have liked for the show to have said that, but we'll see if they bring it up in the spinoff or what the spinoff is about. What do y'all think about the spinoff? What did y'all think about the episode tonight? What are y'all predictions about the spinoff? Do you think it'll be what I said earlier about May and the kids and Jacob and all them? And are you interested in watching the spinoff? I don't understand if they are going to have a spinoff on the stuff and it's going to be the same characters, why they just ain't keep it Greenleaf, but whatever. I don't understand that. They just could have just kept it as Greenleaf and we could have been in season 6 or whatever. But I enjoyed it. Y'all let me know what y'all felt about the episode. If y'all like this recap, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching this video but you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and a notification bell to be notified for when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.